Black people. I had my first day today at a new job, and basically, without going too far into it, my job is to schedule care for people that need it. A lot of this job is going through applications for people who want to give care. I learned today, if it is a name that does not sound white, we are to move it to the completed tasks. We then note your application as moved due to name standards. Now it's my first day, so I ask, what does that mean? I'm black, I'm very light skinned, obviously. And she says, and I said, you mean like our names? Like our names? Because I thought it was like a brand standard, like, no, it's literally our names. So I just want you to know, and everybody else to know, this 100% happens, and I have 122 screenshots of people, their names, their phone numbers, and their email addresses, and the reason why they weren't hired directly because of their name. Then I have this. I didn't even make it 1 hour. After I got my heart rate to stop spiking, I went and found the owner like I planned and asked her directly, super calm. She didn't deny any of it. She admitted that it's, fucked up. She apologized. I told her that I don't think this is going to be a good fit because this is not something that I would be willing to participate in. I made sure to keep it like professional and not scary, like not threatening. So I have a phone call with my guy later this afternoon. I'm gonna go ahead and let him tell me how to proceed. I know that this happens. It's just that I personally have never experienced this type of training. If they have a name that sounds like this or that's jacked up, we don't do it because we have standards. Like, guess we're going on a journey, and eventually we're gonna say who it is.
Hello good people, hoping you're doing well. Kindly consider subscribing to this YouTube channel and also clicking on the notification bell so that anytime I get to post a new video, you'll be able to watch the video. Okay, on today's video, let us discuss on how most of the Africans that are in the Western countries and are trying to secure a job get disqualified just because they have a name that sounds African or because they don't have a white name. Kindly let's watch this video, then come back, react on it after watching.
So I have read a lot of these comments from people saying that they've had to change their names on their CV when they were applying for a particular job, and then they started getting callbacks and interviews from those organizations. I think this is crazy. I mean, I've heard about it before. This is not my first time hearing about it. I've read about it on LinkedIn as well. Someone said that they applied for a job and they instantly got rejected. Like the rejection email they received was almost immediate. And then he went to tweak his CV and change it to like a proper English name. And he got like a call for an interview. And he properly called out the company online. He called them out on LinkedIn and he dragged them for doing that, reject certain names. I think this is insane that someone would see my name and think that I am incompetent for a job and think that I am not good enough for a job without even interviewing me or without even like hearing from me to kind of know the kind of experience that I have. Or I think it is wild. It's wild. I don't know how to qualify, but it is indeed wild. And this is why I want to hear back from like people who've experienced this. If you have actually had to change your name and it worked for you, I want to hear from you. Kindly leave a comment. This comment came from a video I made for international students not being able to secure jobs, especially in the UK after graduating. So someone said, they went ahead and changed their name and they were able to get a job. If you have experienced this before,
Northwestern, where the students sent out applications for jobs using names, black names and white names. How about that one? So Lakeisha Washington and Jamal Jones didn't get the job, but Brendan Fraser and Emily Walsh did? I mean, now how much clearer can you be that whiteness is important?
But then what do you say to a young black person in terms of, yeah, education is worth it, you got to get out there and the kinds of things that your mother used to say to you about get as educated as you can and you can beat the system?
It's not going to work. That's why these kids aren't doing anything in school. Don't you understand? They understand you're a big liar. And the other thing is, we're not doing anything about it.
Many international students are actually not getting jobs after studying.
What the hell is going on with the UK right now, guys? Like, I have no clue, because I've been applying for jobs for more than half a year now, and I have graduated like 6 months ago. Post-graduated, I have done my master's in journalism, and I have been applying to jobs constantly. I have applied to 300 plus jobs by now, and I don't know what's wrong.
For 3.5 years, white man did it in 1 week. I waited for 3.5 years, white man did it in 1 week.
Honestly, let's actually talk about it. We might all be dealing with it low-key, but the fact is that many students are currently going through a phase of depression and mental breakdown because they are not getting jobs. They've sent a lot of applications, but all they get is rejections upon rejections. Current students are unable to find part-time jobs, and graduates are settling for less preferred jobs like care jobs. I know like a lot of my friends and many people that are doing care jobs, which has nothing to do with the degree that they studied in school.
I have a friend from India. He has 3 years of experience in business analysis, and he has done his master's in business administration in the University of Strathclyde in the UK. And even he's working as a caretaker in an old age home for God knows how long, and he has also been trying to apply to places. Is this just us?
Basically, almost everyone is doing care job, which is crazy, especially when it's not what they prefer. And then they get stuck with these employers for like a couple of years in those jobs, which has nothing to do with their career trajectory, and it completely alters their intended career journeys. And I think that this is very, very sad. First of all, the graduate visa is meant to allow students to work for a period of 2 years after graduation. But this hasn't been the case for many international students. When you apply for a job, you often don't hear back or you are rejected. And even when you manage to go for an interview, when you're asked if you need sponsorship, you will see how the face of the interviewer would change and will drop when you say that you do need sponsorship.
The amount of jobs not willing to sponsor is ridiculous. The whole point of the visa is to work 2 years and then switch to the skilled worker visa. But jobs don't want to sponsor.
I think that it is one thing for a country to be accessible to international students to come in and study, but it is another thing for them to be able to access opportunities available in the country. Because whether we agree with it or not, one of the reasons why students come to the UK to study is often not because we cannot access quality education back in our home countries. One of the main reasons is because of the potential opportunities that students are hoping to access in these Western countries, and that is what the postgraduate visa promises. But the fact that they are not getting this is very, very concerning. Indian students, Nigerian students, and other international students are having to return back to their countries without even getting the chance to use their 2 years graduate visas, following the frustration of multiple rejections and not finding a job.
And now so many of my friends have to go back home just because they couldn't find something.
And many prospective international students are getting this message. They are beginning to think twice about coming to the UK to study.
Honestly, guys, save your money and don't come to the UK.
People are beginning to think that the UK is only international student friendly because of their financial contributions in the economy, but this should not be the case. International students should not just be seen as cash cows, because they bring way more than financial contributions. They bring their diversity, their unique experiences, their skills, and their talents. And it is only fair that they get the chance and the opportunity to use these skills and to gain international experience and exposure.
I'm so desperate at this point that I have applied to jobs that I'm way overqualified for, and still I'm getting rejected. At this point, I'm just losing hope.
And this is a call to the government, especially the UK government.
academic bodies, policymakers, and what have you, to intervene and consider the welfare of students, international students, and not just see them for their financial contributions only. Thank you.
So y'all, have y'all saw the video going viral of HR putting black names to like completed files without even looking at their qualifications? Here's my 2 cents. Okay, so apparently when black people apply for these jobs, if they have names, like the system, it ain't even like the actual persons. So there's a girl that's on TikTok and she's saying that in the system, it says move to completed files, like the computer, like the actual system prompts her to do that. She says that, so she had questions, right? The damn system is saying, okay, based on the name, move to completed files. So homegirl had questions, and she's asking, it's a new job, so she's asking the person that she worked with, yeah, based on the names, you have to move it to completed files. It's not going to go through and move on to the next applicant. Yeah, my personal experience, I have like a ghetto name. I have a ratchet name. When I tell y'all my name is a ratchet, it is ratchet. I have a very ghetto name. I apply for a job and I don't walk in and introduce myself to people, they never call me. They never call me. I have never gotten a phone call from an interview, for the next process in a job, just by putting that application in. And I know my name is the reason, and I'll tell you why. I know my name is the reason because, like, there's jobs that I've applied for that I was overqualified for, that a friend of mine applied for, and because she had a name, like, you know, a very specific, like, YT name, she got the job over me and got the interview after me. Like, I applied for the job before she applied for the job, and I never even got a call back. She applied for the job later than me, so that means that that job was still available. She got a call back, she got an interview, and she got the job. That's where I started to learn my lesson. And I was in my maybe my latter teens, or I was in my early 20s when that happened to me. Now my friend got in, and my friend told me, come meet the hiring manager, just come in. And I ended up getting that job. But I've never gotten a job that people did not meet me, and I didn't have to prove myself by face, by name and application. They have never called me. You know why? Because that's Shaquita.
Give your child that black or ethnic name, because if then people can pronounce Skolski, they can pronounce Attila, okay? And what's so annoying to me is that there are people that literally will not hire people named Jaquavius, even though they meet all the requirements and necessary functions for the job, just because their name is Jaquavius. Look at that story about that person that applied for that hotel job with his ethnic name. That hotel did not want to interview him, and then he reapplied with a name like Chad or Annabelle, and they called him back, and now I think that person is suing, as they should. These employers out here will look at your name and decide to throw your application in the trash. And to be quite honest, I'm not naming my child no Annabelle, okay, or Sarah Lynn, just so they can get a job working for some races that probably shouldn't be a boss or an employer in the first place, because they discriminate against people based on their names. I'm not doing that. I'm naming my child something affirming. And yes, it is an ethnic name. But why should I have to change my practices, my cultural practices, for my child to be able to exist in society? This is what is crazy to me. If you're an employer that's discriminating against people based on their name, we need to round you up and lock you up, and you need to earn your way out. You should not be hiring or employing people at all.
This is a question for people with both an African name and some kind of English or Western name. And my question to you is, why don't you go by your African name? Like, just out of curiosity, is it because people often mispronounce it, or you are just used to going by your English name? Like, what is the reason? Because my middle name is Nicole, which is of Greek, origin. And a lot of people are called Nicole, and a lot of people have told me to actually use my middle name more, but I prefer my first name, which is Kensani. So I'm curious to know, if you have both an African and like an English or Western name, why is it you choose to go by the Western name and not your African name? Just out of curiosity, like just genuinely curious.
So truly, there is an epidemic of people giving their children Western name, white people's name. It's very popular among Gen Z, of which I thought it wouldn't. But as we are shaming those people or telling them that, oh, this is wrong, stop doing this, be proud of your African name, Stop taking Arab name because Arab will not take your name. Stop taking white name because white people will not take your name. Please also talk to those people that are giving their children African name, but they are giving their children African name that has to do with colonization, especially among the Igbos. Not even among the Igbos, even the Yorubas too. A lot of our name is still colonized, because when you name your child Olorushogo, or no name is coming to my head right now, but all those names that have to do with God, that is like God has blessed me, God has done this is from God, or all those names that still has to do with religion, it is still a colonized.
I actually think that this could be a thing, because right now many people do not even include their age, their gender, their race on their CV. So I kind of agree with this, that this could be a thing going forward, because for people to have to change their African and Indian names just to secure a job is crazy. It is racist, it is wild, it is insane, it is unfair. So I think that if people have to leave out their names on the CV, it's not much of a big deal, because your name doesn't really make any much difference. So yeah, let me know what you think. Do you think that names should be removed from CVs or not?
Okay, this is so insane how most of the Western people get to disqualify Africans from securing a job just because your name sounds Africa, or just because you don't have a white name. And I think being African does not mean that you are incompetent to carry out the tasks that are needed or carry out your job correctly. And instead, I think they are supposed to check on the qualification that one has, so that for someone to get employed in a certain company. And because of this, because most of the African wants to fit in the society or to exist, we find that parents that live in the Western countries nowadays give their children names that sound white, so that their children can be accepted by the society. And I think by doing this, it's a form of running away from our culture. And that should not be the case. And also, Africans, I think it's time we stop having this belief that greener pastures are only found in the Western countries. And instead, I think we should chase our dreams while in our country, where we are more comfortable and there is not too much rejection and racism. We are supposed to use the same energy, or believe in ourselves that we can make it in our own country. I don't know what are your thoughts about this video. Kindly share your thoughts down on the comment section. Till next time, bye.